Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our daily motivation session.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Your time is valuable, and we appreciate you being here. Before we start, I have a quick question for you. Do you often feel afraid of failure or feel like your mind is too loud? Tell me in the comments below. I really want to know. Please pause this deep dive and type your answer.
Yeah, please do that. We really love reading your answer.
We do. It helps us know you better.
Exactly. So today we are going on a very special journey together. This deep dive is designed just for you. Our mission today is to explore three powerful ideas from our sources.
Three very important ideas, right?
Right. First, we will look at how your attitude changes everything in your life. Second, we will learn how to completely relax a very busy, noisy mind.
Which I think we all need.
Oh, definitely. And third, we will talk about how to find your true voice in a world that is always telling you what to do.
That is a big one.
It really is. We're going to take our time today. We will speak slowly, use clear English, and act as your guides through these life-changing concepts. So you can practice your English listening skills while you also build a stronger, more peaceful mind.
That sounds like a perfect plan. So to start our journey, we have to look at the foundation of everything, and that is your attitude.
Your attitude, right?
Yeah. Many people look around at the world and they think their life is controlled by luck. They believe their future is decided by the family they were born into or the city they live in.
Or, the amount of money in their bank account.
Exactly. But the materials we are studying today show us a completely different reality. Your life is not controlled by your circumstances. Your life is controlled by your mindset.
Your mindset. So how you think about things.
Right. It is how you choose to look at those circumstances. A positive attitude looks at a dark situation and tries to find a solution.
But a negative attitude does the opposite, right?
Yes. A negative attitude looks at the exact same situation and only sees reasons to complain.
I think we all know people like that. I mean, two people can experience the exact same rainy day. One person says, "This weather is ruining my life."
Yeah, they get so angry about the rain.
Right. And the other person says, "This is a great day to stay inside and read a book."
That makes a huge difference.
It sounds simple, but it is incredibly powerful when we talk about big life goals. So, let me share a story with you that perfectly shows how this works in the real world. Think about a professional named Sarah.
Okay, Sarah.
Sarah went to university and studied journalism. She worked incredibly hard. I mean, studying late into the night, practicing her speaking skills, and writing constantly.
That takes a lot of discipline.
It really does. And her hard work paid off. At the very young age of 21, she secured a major television contract.
Wait, 21? That is so young.
Very young. She became a presenter for a famous music channel. To the outside world, she was a total success.
I imagine that felt like the absolute finish line for her. To get a dream job at 21 is rare. Did she feel like she had won the lottery?
She completely did. She felt like she had climbed the highest mountain and she was finally at the top. She thought all her major life goals were already complete.
Wow. That must be an amazing feeling.
It was. But in the television industry, things change very quickly. Everything seemed perfect for exactly 1 year. She had a contract that lasted for 12 months.
Okay, so a one-year contract.
Right. And when those 12 months were over, the television channel made a sudden decision. They decided to cancel her show.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they did not renew her contract. Just like that, on a normal Tuesday, she lost her dream job.
That is a harsh reality of that business. But people lose jobs every day. Did she just look for another presenting job?
You would think so, right? But losing that job broke her completely. Her pride, her ego was severely damaged.
Because she thought she was already at the finish line.
Exactly. Because she believed the job was the finish line, losing it felt like the end of her entire world. She spent days crying in her bedroom. She felt like a total failure.
That is so sad.
It is. The sources point out something very important here. She stayed unemployed for a few years after that. She was paralyzed by the fear of failing again.
So she was stuck in that negative mindset we talked about. She only saw the problem. How did she eventually break out of that trap?
Well, she finally realized that she could not control the television network, but she could control her own actions. She decided to use a strategy called the power of proximity.
Proximity. What does that mean here?
Proximity simply means being physically close to the things you want. Sarah realized she did not need to be a famous presenter immediately. She just needed to be inside the right building.
Oh, I see. Just get in the building.
Yes. So she applied for a very basic, boring job.
What kind of job?
She got a job scheduling television advertisements on a computer.
That sounds very different from being a TV presenter.
Very different. She sat in a small chair and clicked buttons all day. It was not glamorous. Nobody was taking her photograph. But she was inside a television company building. And because she was in the building, she could talk to people. She became incredibly persistent.
How so? What did she do?
She actually printed her professional history on physical paper. She walked down the hallways, knocked on the doors of different offices, and handed the paper directly to producers.
Wow, that takes courage.
It does. She sent friendly emails every single month just to say hello and remind them she was there. She never let her previous failure destroy her strong attitude.
And did it work?
It did. Because of this unstoppable persistence, years later, she worked her way up and became the #1 morning radio host in her entire country.
That is a phenomenal example of attitude in action. Sarah's story teaches us that goals are not the end of the road.
No, they are not.
When you achieve a major goal, life does not just stop. Goals are just small markers on your long journey. They're like signs on the side of the highway telling you how far you have driven.
That is a great way to think about it.
Yeah. When Sarah lost her job, she thought the road had ended. But it was actually just a painful lesson. It was a lesson designed to prepare her for her true career on the radio.
Exactly. Our sources provide a brilliant analogy to understand this. Talent only opens a door, but your attitude decides if you get to stay inside the room.
I love that. Let me repeat that. Talent opens the door, but attitude decides if you stay in the room.
Right. Sarah had enough natural talent to get that first job at age 21. That talent opened the door.
But when trouble arrived, her talent was not enough to save her.
Exactly. She needed a powerful, strong attitude to survive the dark years, accept a boring job, and build a lasting career.
You know, I want to focus on that dark period she went through. When people fail, they often lose all their confidence. They think confidence is something you only have when you are winning.
That is very true. We think confident people never fail.
Right, but true confidence is not born from being perfect. True confidence is built when things go terribly wrong and you discover that you can survive. You learn that a failure will not actually kill you.
That brings up a great point. How do we actually build that confidence when we are terrified? How do we take action when our brain is screaming at us to stay safe in our bedroom?
It is hard. Really hard.
It is. But the materials we are studying offer a highly effective scientific tool. It is called the 5-second rule.
The 5-second rule, tell me about that.
Okay, I want you, the listener, to think about your normal morning. You set an alarm to wake up early and exercise.
I do this all the time.
Right, the alarm rings. You feel a deep, honest instinct in your body that says, I should get out of bed and go for a walk. That first feeling is your true self. But what happens next?
I know exactly what happens next. You lie there, and suddenly your brain starts giving you a list of excuses.
Exactly. Like what?
Like, it is too cold outside. I did not sleep enough. One more day of rest is probably better for my health.
Yes. Your mind tries to talk you out of your own goals. The 5-second rule explains why this happens. When you hesitate, even for a few seconds, you wake up the alarm system in your brain.
An alarm system.
Yes. This alarm system is called the amygdala.
Yeah.
When your brain sees you hesitating, it assumes you are in danger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it thinks, oh no, we are hesitating because it is dangerous outside. So it floods your body with fear and doubt to keep you safe in bed.
So it is actually trying to protect you.
Exactly. It thinks it is helping. So the rule is simple. When you feel a positive instinct to do something like speaking up in a meeting or applying for a new job or getting out of bed, you must take physical action within 5 seconds.
5 seconds. That is very fast.
Yes. You must move before your brain's alarm system turns on and stops you. You just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move.
I love the mechanics of that. You are basically tricking your own brain. You are bypassing the fear response. If you want to build an unstoppable attitude, you have to practice taking action while you are still afraid.
Exactly. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and deciding to move your feet anyway.
We have spent a lot of time talking about how to build a strong attitude to survive failure, but here is a huge problem that we have to address.
Okay, what is the problem?
You cannot build a positive, strong attitude if your brain's hard drive is already completely full of past stress.
Right. Like a computer with no memory left.
Exactly. You cannot put clean water into a cup that is full of poison. You have to empty the trash first. And that is why letting go of the past is not just a nice, peaceful idea. It is a biological requirement if you want to grow.
That makes a lot of sense. You have to make space.
That is a crucial distinction. You simply cannot relax your mind or build a strong future if you are holding on to old pain, old guilt, or the opinions of people who hurt you years ago.
It must be exhausting.
It is. It is like trying to fall asleep while someone is shouting directly into your ear.
Yeah.
To really understand the weight of this problem, let me share a story about a young woman named Emily.
All right, Emily. What happened to her?
Every single day of her life, Emily carried a very large, heavy rock strapped to her back.
A real rock.
Yes, a heavy rock. She carried it to work, she carried it to the grocery store, she carried it everywhere. Now, nobody forced her to do this. There was no law making her carry the rock.
That is so strange. Why did she do it?
Well, Emily had carried it for so long that she believed carrying this heavy burden made her a strong, noble person.
That sounds incredibly painful. I mean, physically, that would destroy your body. Why would someone choose to do that?
It did destroy her body. Soon, the rock became too heavy for her muscles to support. Her back hurt constantly. She could not sleep at night because her shoulders were in agony.
Oh, wow.
She was always tired, always angry, and always in pain, but she kept walking with it.
Did anyone try to stop her?
Well, one day, a stranger saw her struggling on the street. The stranger walked up to her and asked a very simple question. They said, "Emily, why are you still carrying that heavy rock?"
What did she say?
Emily stopped. She looked at the stranger and tears filled her eyes. She replied, "Because I have carried it for so long, I completely forgot that I could just put it down."
Wow. Wait, I understand the metaphor of the rock.
Yeah,
The rock represents our emotional pain, right?
exactly.
It is the mistakes we made yesterday or the anger we feel toward an ex-partner or a bad boss. But let me challenge this idea for a moment.
Please do.
If I just put down the terrible mistakes I made in my past, isn't that just avoiding responsibility? How is letting go different from just running away from my problems and pretending they never happened?
That is exactly what most people think. And it is why they keep carrying the rock. But letting go does not mean you pretend the mistake never happened.
Okay, so you still admit the mistake.
Yes, it does not mean you avoid responsibility. If you made a mistake, you look at it, you learn the lesson from it, and you try to fix it. But after you learn the lesson, holding on to the guilt forever does not help anyone. It just makes you weak.
I see. So the lesson is good, but the guilt is heavy.
Right. Letting go means you stop letting a past event control your current emotions. Think about forgiveness. People often refuse to forgive someone who hurt them because they think, if I forgive them, I am saying their bad behavior was acceptable. I am letting them win.
Yes, that is exactly how it feels. It feels like you are giving a gift to the person who treated you badly.
But our sources explain this beautifully. Forgiveness is absolutely not a gift for the other person. The other person might not even care if you forgive them.
That is very true. They might have moved on.
Exactly. Forgiveness is water to put out the fire that is burning inside your own mind. When you are angry at someone, your heart rate goes up, your stress hormones increase, and your peace is destroyed. You're drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Wow. Drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. That is powerful.
It is. When you forgive or when you finally put the heavy rock down, you are simply setting yourself free from the burning fire.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. The anger hurts me, not them. And speaking of other people, our sources highlight another very heavy rock that we choose to carry every day.
What is that?
It is the expectation that other people should be perfect. If we think about our daily lives, a massive amount of our stress comes from tiny interactions with others.
Oh, absolutely.
We think, why didn't my friend call me back? Why is the waiter at this restaurant so rude? Why can't my coworker just do their job correctly? We become furious because people are not acting the way we want them to act.
Yes, we get angry because we treat other people like mirrors. We assume they should think like us, act like us, and value the same things we value.
Right. Like if I am polite, everyone else should be polite.
Exactly. If I am always on time, I expect everyone else to always be on time. And when they are late, I take it as a personal insult. But other people are not mirrors. They're entirely separate universes.
Separate universes. I like that.
They have their own hidden problems, their own history of trauma, and their own daily stress that you cannot see. You absolutely cannot control their behavior. You cannot control what your boss says or how a stranger drives their car on the highway.
But it is so difficult to accept that. We want to control our environment so we feel safe.
We do, but it is a fantasy. You have zero control over the world. However, you have one supreme absolute power.
Which is?
You can control your own reaction. If you go through life expecting everyone to be perfectly polite, fair, and kind, you will be stressed every single day of your life. Your mind will always be fighting reality.
So we have to drop the expectation.
You have to drop it. You have to accept that people are messy, complicated, and flawed. When you stop demanding perfection from the world suddenly becomes much easier to navigate.
I want to make this very practical for our listener right now. We have talked about putting down the rock of the past and dropping the expectation of perfect people. Let us do a simple, guided exercise together.
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Wherever you are listening to this deep dive, if you are sitting in a safe place, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Take a very slow, deep breath in
Breathe in.
and let it out. Now, I want you to look inside your mind and find one specific thing that is hurting you today. Maybe it is an embarrassing mistake you made at work last week.
Or maybe a rude comment someone made.
Yes, maybe a rude comment a family member made about your clothes. Maybe it is a deep fear about paying your bills tomorrow. See that heavy rock clearly in your mind. Notice how heavy it feels on your shoulders. Now, I want you to say this sentence out loud with me. I release this. I choose peace.
I release this. I choose peace.
Let's say it one more time with intention. I release this. I choose peace.
Notice how your chest feels just a little bit lighter when you realize that carrying the worry does not actually solve the problem. You can put the worry down and just focus on the next step.
We have talked about emptying the trash from our minds. We are putting down the rocks. We are letting go of the past. So now our mind has empty space. But nature does not like empty space. We have to fill that space with something healthy or the stress will just return.
That is very true.
And that brings us to our third major topic today. Finding your true voice. If you want to build an attitude that nobody can break, you must discover who you really are underneath all the noise.
This is a profound concept. A huge percentage of the exhaustion we feel at the end of the day does not come from physical work. It comes from the mental effort of trying to perform for other people.
Performing, right, acting like someone else.
Yes. We spend our days trying to be the perfect employee, the perfect parent, the perfect friend. We change our personality depending on who we are talking to.
Let me tell you another story to illustrate how dangerous this performance can be. This is a story about a theater actor named David.
David the actor. Oh.
Yeah, David was a very talented actor. One evening, he was standing on a huge theater stage, performing in a serious play in front of a massive audience. The lights pointing at him were hot and bright. He was in the middle of a very emotional scene. And suddenly, his mind went completely blank.
Oh, no.
Yes. He forgot his lines. He forgot every single word he was supposed to say next.
That is my absolute worst nightmare, standing in front of hundreds of people in total silence. Did he just freeze, or did he run off the stage?
He didn't run, but he was absolutely terrified. He started pacing back and forth across the stage, trying to look busy. He picked up a cup. He looked out the fake window.
Just trying to fill the silence.
Exactly. He was trying to act normal, desperately hoping that the other actors or the audience would not notice his mistake. He smiled. He forced a laugh. But inside, his heart was hammering against his ribs. He was in a state of total panic.
I can completely imagine that panic.
But here is the most important part of the story. The worst part of this nightmare was not just that he forgot the words he was supposed to speak. The real horror was that, in his panic, he realized he did not even know who his character was supposed to be anymore.
Wait, really?
Yes, he had lost his lines and he had lost his identity. He was totally empty on the stage.
Wow. The reason this story is so powerful is that we are all walking around like David on stage. We are pretending. We are terrified that people will realize we do not know what we are doing. The sources we are studying explain this feeling using something called the voice layer theory.
I really want to understand this theory. What are these layers?
Think of your true personality, your authentic voice, as a solid, pure foundation. When we are born into this world, our voice is very clear. A baby knows exactly what it wants.
That is true. Babies cry when they need something.
Exactly. It knows when it is hungry, it knows when it is tired, and it expresses those feelings loudly and honestly. But as we grow up, society starts adding layers on top of our foundation. The first layer is usually our parents.
Our parents, giving us rules.
Right. They tell us what is polite and what is rude. They tell us what a good boy or girl should do. Then you go to school. The next layer is added by your teachers and your friends. They tell you what clothes you need to wear to be popular.
Oh, yes. Middle school and high school.
They tell you which hobbies are cool and which are embarrassing.
And then we grew up and get smartphones.
Exactly. Then the thickest, heaviest layer of all is added on top. The media and the internet. Every day, screens tell us what physical beauty looks like, what a successful career looks like, and how much money we need to be happy.
It is constant everywhere we look.
Year after year, layer after layer is added. Soon, your original true voice is buried so deep under all these rules that you cannot hear it anymore. Like David the actor, many of us are wearing heavy masks and reading scripts that were written by other people.
It sounds exactly like painting a wall in an old house. Your true voice is the original beautiful color of the wooden wall.
Right.
But over 20 years, your parents paint a layer of white over it. Then your teachers paint a layer of blue. Then social media paints a thick, cheap layer of gray paint over everything. To find your true voice, you have to do the hard work of carefully peeling back all that old, ugly paint. You have to scrape away the opinions of everyone else.
That is a perfect analogy. And scraping away that paint is not easy. It takes deliberate effort.
So how do we actually do this? How do we find our original color?
The materials provide a very clear, challenging instruction. You must isolate yourself.
Isolating yourself sounds a bit extreme. Maybe even dangerous for your mental health. Won't you just lose all your friends if you isolate yourself? Are we supposed to move into the forest?
No, it does not mean running away to live in a cave. Isolation, in this context, means taking a deliberate, healthy break from the constant noise of other human beings. You cannot hear your own thoughts if there is a television constantly screaming in your living room.
That is very true.
You need to take a temporary break from social media. You need to spend a little time completely alone, go for a long walk without headphones, sit in a chair and just look out the window.
Just sit in silence.
Yes. Once you create some silence, you need to look very closely at your social environment. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself a very honest, very hard question.
Okay, what is the question?
Do these 5 people make my true voice stronger, or do they make my voice weaker?
That is a tough question to answer honestly.
It is. When you try to share a new idea, do they listen to you, or do they immediately talk over you and tell you why your idea is stupid? If you want to find your voice, you must protect your emotional energy. You have to limit the time you spend with people who make you feel small.
I can see a problem here, though. As you start finding your true voice and you start speaking your true thoughts, you will face a new challenge. You will have to start setting boundaries.
Setting boundaries is very hard for a lot of people.
Right. You will have to start telling people no. And when you do that, you might feel incredibly guilty. You might worry that your friends will call you difficult or your boss will think you are rude.
This is a huge obstacle for many people. We are trained to be nice. The sources talk beautifully about the critical difference between being nice and being assertive.
What is the difference?
Many of us think that being a good person means we must always say yes to everything. We think if we say no to a request, we are being selfish or mean.
Yes, exactly. If my friend asks me to help them move furniture on my only day off, I feel like a terrible friend if I say no.
But always saying yes is a dangerous trap. You can be a very kind, loving, polite person and still be very clear about your boundaries. Being assertive does not mean you yell at people. It simply means you respect your own time and health just as much as you respect other people.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. Let's use an example from work. If your manager asks you to do a huge amount of extra work on the weekend and you are already exhausted, you do not have to be angry. But you also do not have to say yes just to be nice.
What did you say then?
You can smile warmly and say, I really want to help the team, but I am completely unavailable this weekend. I will look at this first thing on Monday morning.
That sounds so professional and calm.
It is. You must remember this fundamental rule. Do not always say yes to other people if it means you are secretly saying no to your own health.
Let me write that down mentally. Do not say yes to others if it means saying no to your health.
Exactly. Every time you agree to do something you hate, just to please someone else, you are hurting your own peace. You are painting another layer over your true voice.
Finding that voice and building the courage to say no takes time. Building genuine confidence is a slow, daily journey. To help you on this journey, the sources suggest a brilliant practical exercise that anyone can do. It is called creating a wins album.
A wins album. Okay, I want you to explain this. I want you, the listener, to take out your mobile phone today, open your photo application, and create a brand new album. Title this album My Wins.
Right.
What kind of pictures go into this album? Should it just be pictures of graduation days and expensive cars?
Not at all. In fact, the smaller the win, the better. Every time you have a tiny positive success in your day, take a photo and put it in this album.
Give me an example of a small win.
For example, maybe you were really craving unhealthy fast food, but you forced yourself to cook a healthy meal at home. Take a photo of that plate of food.
Oh, I like that.
Or maybe you sat down and finished reading one chapter of a book in English. Take a photo of the book cover. Maybe you felt depressed, but you still put on your shoes and walked outside for 20 minutes. Take a picture of your shoes.
I see. You are building a visual database of evidence.
Exactly. When you have a terrible day, when you feel weak, or when your mind tells you that you are a failure, open this album on your phone. Scroll through all the pictures. Look at the undeniable physical proofs of your daily growth.
Because you cannot argue with pictures.
Right. It will remind you of your internal strength, and it will help your true voice speak much louder than your temporary doubts.
That is a wonderful, practical tool for daily life. Now, let us move into the final and perhaps most important section of our journey today. We have talked about choosing a positive attitude, we have talked about letting go of old pain, and we have talked about scraping away the paint to find your voice.
We have covered a lot.
We have. But here's the brutal truth. Absolutely none of these things are possible if you are rushing through your life at high speed. We must talk about the power of silence and the necessity of slowing down.
This is so difficult in today's society. We live in a world that's completely obsessed with speed.
Completely obsessed.
We want fast food, we want fast internet, we demand fast replies to our text messages, and we want fast success. If a video does not entertain us in 3 seconds, we scroll to the next one. But this constant speed creates massive problems for the human nervous system, doesn't it?
It does. Our brains were simply not built to handle this much incoming information so quickly. The biological equation is very simple. Speed creates pressure in the mind. Pressure creates a feeling of panic in the body, and panic creates terrible mistakes in your life.
So to fix the panic, we have to slow down.
To truly relax your mind and build the attitude we have been discussing, you must learn how to slow down. You must learn how to find silence. Let me share a story about two very different men that perfectly illustrates this. One man was named John, and the other was named Michael.
Tell me about John first.
John was a billionaire. He had an incredible amount of money, enormous political power, and massive success in the business world. He owned dozens of companies, he lived in mansions.
So he had everything.
On the outside, yes, but John was stressed every single minute of every single day. His mobile phone never stopped ringing, his email inbox was always full, his mind was always racing to the next problem, the next meeting, the next financial deal. He could never sleep properly.
That sounds terrible.
It was. He was so desperate for a moment of peace that he spent millions of dollars to buy a private island. He thought that sitting on a beautiful, empty beach would finally calm his brain down.
He had a private island. I feel like if I had a private island, I would be very relaxed. Did the island help him? Did his vast amount of money bring him any peace at all?
Absolutely none. The island was quiet, but his mind was still screaming. Because peace is an internal state, it cannot be bought with external money.
So what did he do?
Well, one day, while taking a walk in a dense forest far away from his business empire, John met a monk. The monk's name was Michael. Michael owned absolutely nothing. He wore simple old clothes, he lived in a small wooden room and ate basic food.
The opposite of John.
Completely the opposite. But when you looked at Michael's face, he had the one thing John desperately wanted. Total, beautiful, deep peace. John was amazed. He approached the monk and asked, "How are you so incredibly calm? My life is perfect on the outside, but my mind is always spinning out of control."
What was the monk's secret? Did he give him a magic philosophy?
No magic. Michael the monk looked at John and gave him a powerful metaphor. He said, "John, your mind is like a cup of muddy water. Right now, you are constantly shaking the cup. You run to this meeting, you run to that country, you worry about tomorrow's stock market, you check your phone every 5 minutes.
Shaking the cup?
Yes. Because you never stop shaking the cup, the water stays dirty and cloudy, the mud is always moving, you cannot see anything clearly."
That makes perfect sense.
Then the monk said, "But if you just put the cup down on a solid table and leave it completely still for a little while, what happens? Gravity takes over. The dirt slowly falls to the bottom of the cup, and the water at the top becomes perfectly clear."
That is a stunning image.
Yeah.
Stop shaking the cup.
Exactly. Michael told John that he could not buy clear water. He had to let the mud settle. He told John to start sitting in total silence for just 10 minutes every single morning. Just 10 minutes. No phone, no talking, no business plans, just breathing and being still.
And did John do it?
John was desperate, so he tried it. It was terribly difficult at first. But slowly, over weeks, the mud in his mind began to settle. The panic faded. For the first time in his entire life, John the billionaire found true wealth. The wealth of a peaceful mind.
The metaphor of the muddy water is absolutely perfect for our modern lives. Every single time we try to do too many things at once, we are picking up the cup and violently shaking it. Let's talk about the biggest way we shake the cup every day. Multitasking.
Yes, multitasking. We all do it.
We all believe that multitasking makes us highly productive. We think we're being very efficient when we watch a YouTube video while eating dinner, while also replying to a text message from a friend.
It feels efficient, but scientifically it is the exact opposite. Multitasking is a myth.
Right. The sources are very clear about this. Multitasking is actually mental pollution. Your human brain is physically incapable of focusing on three complex things at the exact same time. It is not doing them simultaneously.
It is just switching back and forth.
Yes, instead, your brain is just jumping very, very fast between the video, the food, and the text message. Every time it jumps, it uses a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
Very quickly, your brain gets completely exhausted. There was a terrifying example from the research about this.
What happened?
There was a highly educated, very capable doctor working in a busy city hospital. He was very smart. But one day, the hospital was rushing. He tried to read a patient's complex medical file while simultaneously giving verbal instructions to a nurse while also answering his ringing mobile phone.
Three things at once.
He was trying to do three important things at once. Because his mental energy was divided and pulled in too many directions, his brain made a fatal error. He wrote the name of the wrong medicine on the paper for a sick patient.
That is incredibly dangerous.
Thankfully, another nurse caught the mistake before the patient took the medicine. But it proves a massive point. Even a brilliant doctor cannot shake the cup and see clearly at the same time. Doing one single thing at a time and giving it your full attention is the only way to protect your mind, do a good job, and prevent panic.
Doing one thing at a time is how you let the mud settle.
Exactly.
If we want to learn how to let the mud settle, we actually have a built-in tool. We carry this tool inside our chests everywhere we go. It is completely free, and it works instantly. I am talking about our breath. The rhythm of your breathing is the remote control for your emotional state.
The remote control. How does the breath control emotions? I thought emotions controlled the breath.
It goes both ways. When you are angry or stressed about a deadline, your breathing naturally becomes very fast and shallow. You breathe quickly into the top of your chest. This fast breathing sends a signal to your brain saying, "We are under attack, prepare to fight."
So the brain thinks there is a physical danger.
Right, but you can reverse the signal. If you purposely slow down your breathing, your heart rate drops. A nerve in your body called the vagus nerve sends a new message to your brain.
The vagus nerve.
Yes, it says the breathing is slow, so we must be safe. Turn off the panic. The materials we are studying give us a very specific, highly effective method for doing this. It is called the 4-7-8 breathing method.
Can you walk us through exactly how to do that?
It is very simple, and you can do it right now. First, you inhale. You breathe fresh air in quietly through your nose, counting slowly for 4 seconds.
So breathe in for 4.
Then you stop. You hold that air gently inside your lungs for 7 seconds.
Hold for 7.
Finally, you exhale. You blow the air out completely through your mouth, making a soft whoosh sound for 8 seconds.
So in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8.
Exactly. If you sit still and do this just 4 or 5 times, your physical biology changes, the blood pressure drops, the mud settles, the panic melts away. It is pure science.
I am definitely going to practice the 4-7-8 method tonight before I go to sleep. But slowing down is not just about our bodies. It is also about our physical environment. If we want to find silence, we have to look at the room we are sitting in.
The physical space.
Yes. The space around you deeply changes how your mind feels. I want to ask you, the listener, to look around your environment right now. Look at your bedroom or look at the screen of your mobile phone.
Visual noise is a huge source of invisible stress.
Exactly. Let's say your bedroom is incredibly messy. There are dirty clothes thrown everywhere, papers on the desk, and unwashed cups on the table. Or look at your phone. Maybe your screen is filled with hundreds of red circles, showing unread emails and unread social media notifications.
That makes me stressed just thinking about it.
Right. This physical mess creates something psychologists call open loops in your brain.
What exactly is an open loop?
Your brain is biologically designed to remember unfinished tasks. It wants to complete things. So every time your eyes look at a messy pile of clothes or an unread email, a tiny quiet voice in your brain says, you need to fix this, you need to clean this, you need to answer this message.
Even if you are not trying to think about it.
Even if you ignore it and try to relax, that program is still running in the background of your mind, like a hidden application draining the battery on your phone. It constantly drains your energy.
That explains why it is so hard to relax in a messy room. The visual noise is shouting at you just as loudly as actual audio noise. You cannot truly rest if your eyes are constantly processing unfinished work.
Exactly.
If you spend 3 hours looking at angry political arguments on social media, your brain absorbs all that tension even if you are sitting quietly on your sofa. You must protect what you look at because once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
This gives us a very clear, simple action to take today. We don't want to overwhelm you. You do not need to spend 6 hours cleaning your entire house today. That is too much pressure. But you can close one loop.
It's just one loop.
Just clean one single drawer in your desk. Fold one pile of clothes. Or pick up your phone right now and unfollow 5 negative, angry pages that always make you feel stressed when you see them. Delete 3 applications you never use. Close those tiny open loops. Create just a little bit of empty visual silence for yourself.
When your physical space is clear, your internal mind becomes clear. When you stop shaking the cup with a messy environment, the water in your mind becomes pure.
This has been such an incredible, deep journey today. We have covered so much ground. We learned that having a positive attitude is a deliberate choice, and it is the only way to survive failure and reach your goals.
And we discovered that letting go of past pain and the opinions of others is the only way to set your mind free from carrying a heavy rock.
We talked about how to find your true original voice by isolating yourself and scraping away the layers of paint put there by society. And finally, we learned the absolute necessity of slowing down, doing one thing at a time, and letting the muddy water settle through silence and breath.
It is a lot of information, but it is all connected.
It is. As we come to the very end of our deep dive today, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. It's something for you to think about as you go through the rest of your week.
Let's hear it.
We have talked a lot about choices today, but there is one thing that connects all these choices, and that is time. Time is the only resource in the universe that absolutely never comes back. Every single minute that passes by is gone forever. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time.
That is so true.
However, the effort you put into building your strong attitude today, the time you spend putting down the heavy rock today, the 10 minutes you spend sitting in total silence tomorrow morning, that time is not wasted. It is an investment. It will return to you. It will return to you in the form of a peaceful, strong, and highly successful future. Time respects those people who respect it. When you respect your own time by protecting your mind from the noise of the world, your entire life transforms.
At the very start of this session, I asked you a question. I asked if you feel afraid of failure, or if you feel like your mind is simply too loud and too busy. After exploring the incredible power of your attitude, the relief of putting down the heavy rock, and the secret of calming the muddy water, I truly hope your answer to that question is now different. I hope you realize deep inside your heart that you are not a victim of the world. You have the total power to calm your own mind. You have the tools to build a beautiful, unstoppable life.
If you learned something new today, please like this video and subscribe for more English practice. See you in the next video.